There's chocolate cake. Then there's this chocolate cake. The dark chocolate souffle cake is the ultimate special occasion cake. Why? Because it's not only easy to make, it's decadent and gluten-free. So let's get started. Here I have some eggs that I've separated, and I just need to do one more. So we'll just crack that on the side of the bowl, and being very gentle, just using your shell to help remove, or I guess split, you could say, the white from the yolk. We'll pop that in there. Beautiful. I'm going to pop my whites into my electric mixer with the whisk attachment and start beating them very slowly just to get them started, and of course to help them a little bit more, a nice pinch of salt. You don't want too much, but that little bit of salt just helps the egg whites really beat up. Now we'll get them going. Right, there we go. Beautiful soft peaks. I'm just going to pop them into this bowl because I'm going to need this bowl again to cream my butter and sugar. There's no need to worry about washing this one. We'll just pop that back into the mixer and then dip in the butter. And the sugar. Okay. So we want to cream this up so it's nice and pale, and once it's ready, we can start adding the egg yolks. My butter and sugar is nicely creamed and pale. What I'm going to do is get the mixer back up and running again, and then add my egg yolks one at a time, increasing the speed a little bit, just so it beats in nicely. And then decreasing the speed before you add your next yolk. Yolks are creamed into the butter and sugar. Now to add the few last ingredients. Some almond meal and some grated dark chocolate. And mixing again on a low speed so your mixture doesn't go everywhere. Okay, perfect. My almond chocolate mixture is ready to be combined with the egg white. I'm just going to give it one final stir to make sure it's all nicely incorporated. Now, take a little scoop of your egg white and pop it into the mixture. And just sort of gently fold it, but get it through. You can be a little bit rougher with this part. The trick with this cake is to make sure you keep all of that air that you've whipped into the egg whites. Otherwise, it'll flop. And by adding just a little bit of the egg white to begin with, it just helps break that mixture up before you transfer all of this into the rest of your beaten egg whites. Okay, so that mixture is nice and loose now, and I'm going to pour it into my egg whites. See how that is actually much heavier than the egg whites, and it's sort of all sunk to the bottom. The egg whites are nice and light and fluffy. So very gently folding all of that mixture into the whites. This is the critical part. If you're too rough and cut too much of the air out of the whites, your souffle will be a flop. Now, I think this is pretty much nicely combined. I'm not going to have any little egg white bergs. Now, I'm going to pour it into my tin that I've prepared with Maltex Bake. The great thing about the Maltex Bake, the printed bake, is these fantastic grid lines and also your circle marks. Now, each of them are actually marked out for you so you can match them to the centimetre size of your cake tin. How clever is that? So I've taken all of the hard work out for you. So I'll pop my tin onto my board and then again, very carefully, gently, don't drop it in, just let it flow into the tin. I'll just smooth the top ever so carefully. Beautiful. Just get rid of that bit. And at this stage, whatever you do, do not bang the tin on the bench. You will lose all of your beautiful air bubbles. Now, before I pop it into the oven, I'm actually going to pop my cake into a double boiler of sorts. So place it into the pan and then fill that probably just about 2/3 up the side of the cake tin with some boiling water. Okay, now before I pop it in the oven, just one more sheet of bake over the top. And that way, it'll be nice and protected and won't burn while it's cooking in the oven for about 50 to 55 minutes. My cake is cooked to perfection and it's nice and cool. To get it out of the tin, I'm just going to very, very gently ease the paper from around the edges of the cake tin, just a little bit at a time until it all releases nicely. And voila, off it comes. Now, for the tricky part. Okay, am I a magician? Am I a magician? Am I a magician? Ooh, ooh. Working really, really quickly. Get rid of that and so close. Perfect. It's very, very soft. You have to work very, very quickly. Now, my chocolate ganache, which is basically just some cream and chocolate melted together, allowed to cool, and then whipped up so it's nice and delicious. Beautiful. Okay. The perfect special occasion cake, dark chocolate soufflé cake. Yum.